that's a really strong champion for him. So you might want to take it away. However, N-rated plays her as well, so they might want to leave it open for him. They might want to take it away from Krepo. We'll see how it works.
Well, Kha'Zix has been taken away. The question is, will we see the likes of the Backdoor Kings champions through? Twisted Fate, Kha'Zix. What else has he been using to get in their back? Froggen, of course, obviously used it, didn't expect it on Expect the other day. I mean, Zed, definitely another champion. Lux, of course, taken away from Froggen. No doubt about that one. And there's a lot of people actually saying that his Lux is stronger than his Anivia, which we saw yesterday was still very strong.
The thing about Anivia, though, you can catch people off guard. Like, they just won't realize. We saw against the Wolves, he would catch Sven Skaren out of position with that wall, and then they would just blow him up. We do have a Cassidy ban coming in, and I'm curious to see if we're going to have a Katarina ban, because you took away one of the reset champions with Kha'Zix. Why not take away that Katarina as well, which can be so deadly in these fights?
Well, he's definitely a champion he's been using heavily throughout this tournament. What will Fnatic go with? Because it's up to them. If, of course, this does mean that the likes of Shen would be available. Like you mentioned, Leona in there. Zed has been taken away. That immediately means that there's going to be a potential Shen, a potential TF in there. What will we see? There's so many strong champions that have actually snuck through this ban. It is going to be Twisted Fate. You heard Yellow Pete saying in that video just before there that he does not want to see Twisted Fate on Fnatic. He's just worried every time he does manage to come against it.
And the thing is, if you're going to take away Kassadin, like if you're going to ban Kassadin yourself, you might as well take a Twisted Fate right after, because Kassadin can work really well against him. And then again, you are the purple team, so you always have the option to pick him up last, but they didn't want that happening anyways. But yeah, like you said, Shen is available if they do want to pick it up. A very strong champion. We saw Wicked use it back, in the early weeks. That's where he got his name Bricked from, because he was just unmovable in that top lane. Curious to see if he'll go for that, or maybe they'll actually just leave it open for a little bit.
It does mean that Elise is also available. Snuck through the bans, was one of the stronger bans yesterday. And the fact that Soaz has talked about his champions, is that maybe one of them? He has played it a lot before. Wonder if we sneak anything else through. Maybe we'll see something crazy out there. Remember, this is Fnatic. They have played 2 AD carries before.
I was just about to say this. We had no jungler bans picked up at all.
Jarvan.
So Jarvan was left available. We still have Volibear. We still have Nasus. Stupid's been playing a lot of Volibear, well, as well as Nasus. He's been working on that trinity of junglers. And as we're talking about Shen, looks like Evagenesis are going to pick that up. And it looks like they will go for a lock-in right away onto Varus. So they really want to make sure that they get Yellow Pete that AD carry.
Well, 100% pick back yesterday, and everybody really using it as one of their first picks to make sure they do get Varus in there. Seems to be definitely the AD carry favorite right now. Peke hovering over Brand. I'll be surprised if that is locked in. We haven't seen Brand in competitive play for a very, very long time. Could we see Soaz taking away Wicked's champion that he was using yesterday? Or will they go for the AD carry in there? Of course, N-rated on Leona, not to be outdone either. Remember, Blitzcrank is also available for the supports if Peke, or rather N-rated, wanted to go for that one. They have locked it in, and there is Zac. So Zac going to be used in the top lane, I'm guessing here, by Soaz.
See, we look at that, and we assume after yesterday it would most likely be in the top lane, but we've also seen teams use Jarvan in the middle lane. We've seen Ocelot do it before. It's always a possibility. I mean, Zac is one of those champions that you can really decide where you want to exactly go with it. But like I agree with you, most likely it will be in the top lane. And after Soaz seen Wicked play it yesterday, maybe he wants to show him like how to use it properly. Like we had Yamato Cannon telling Wicked, you don't max Q on Zed first, you max E.
Well, of course, they used it yesterday in it was Kiwi Kid was playing it for Dignitas as well. We did see Alistair coming out yesterday for Krepo. He used it, and they actually lost that game. That was against the Copenhagen Wolves. So, it didn't work out too well for them, but this time alongside Varus rather than Kog'Maw, which they had yesterday.
It's a very aggressive lane. Like anytime you have an Alistair, it's a good counter to like a Taric or a Leona. However, Leona has the ability to actually get to you with the Zenith Blade, but provides a lot of cover for your AD carry, which typically if you run something like that, you might even allow your AD carry to not run cleanse necessarily. Maybe go for Barrier because you're not necessarily worried about their support hopping on top of you. And they do lock in the Volibear as well, so we will have Stupi on Volibear. And like you and Trevor mentioned it yesterday that Stupi was always talking about how if you're going to run Volibear and they have some sort of CC to keep you away, you want to run Flash. However, he was running Ghost into a Lulu, so I'm curious to see if he's going to pick up that Flash this time or maybe go with Ghost again.
Yeah, the mixed grill being selected once again by Evagenesis. It didn't work yesterday, though. When they had this mixed grill,
they didn't have Bird last time, though.
And it was the red side. They have a really, I don't know whether it's an aversion to red side, but they really do not feel they have much success on there. But if anybody watched yesterday, you would know that the red side won all day last night in North America. But I'm not going to spoil those results for you. You can check them out over at lolesports.com, or you can check the videos on there. Make sure to avoid those spoilers because they were fantastic games last night in North America, the quarterfinals. But right now, the semi-finals here in the European LCS, we could be seeing Corki being locked in and Nidalee.
Okay, so I think this is one of the first Corkis we've actually seen in LCS so far. He was really popular back in Season 2. He fell off a lot. I mean, he just completely fell off back in Season 2 when it was all the Ezreals and Corkis in the lane. He's not that strong anymore, but I mean, he was changed around a little bit. His ultimate now gives you the big bomb every 3 charges instead of 4. Yellowstar was always a big player of him. I'm curious to see if he's been working on him quite a bit lately.
He did receive a slight buff in the patch, and I know a lot of players out there were going, you've got to be really careful with this one, because if he comes back, he could come back with a vengeance. We'll see how it works out for Yellowstar. Obviously, he's been using Twitch a lot, so I was maybe expecting Twitch to come out for Yellowstar, but not this time around. So the mid lane, it's going to be all about Frog, and what will he take? And Nivea, of course, is available if he wants to go with it, as is Ari, which he has selected currently. Or well, Crepo has it selected, and there's the discussions in the team. It has been locked in, so it's going to be Ari versus Nidalee in that mid lane.
Okay, so we have a very beefy lineup of evil geniuses. We have Volibear, we have Alistar, and we have Shen all mixed up together. It's going to be a very strong front line for them. But over Fnatic's side, it's a little interesting to me, because you have well, I mean, you see AP and Nidalee, so you think, you know, naturally kind of a poke comp going on. But you have a really strong double, or actually triple engage with Leona, with the Jarvan, with the Zac. So it looks like they maybe want to go for a little bit of poke and then just rush in there and kill them really quickly.
So a bit of history coming out between the bottom lane of Fnatic as well, against all authorities. Well, they used to play, and back at CBIT 2012, there's been so many busy tournaments for me. CBIT 2012 is when they were as against all authority. They finished 4th, I think, that tournament, maybe 5th. Actually, no, I think they lost to SK in the third, fourth place playoff, didn't they?
I know Wicked doesn't like 1v2s either. He wants to go into 1v1. We even had games where he called out Soaz saying, hey, Soaz, like, we were playing Blitzcrank back in LCS during the regular season, saying, let's go 1v1 here, and they never would let him. But it looks like, according to the minimap, that they actually will be going head-to-head in this top lane, and I really want to see how this works out, because just like I said, the history that developed between these two, 144,000 people watching that epic duel for the All-Star spot happen between them. There's a lot of action and a lot of revenge in Wicked's eyes.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be a great deal of movement, though, across the map. Everybody in defensive formation, as it were. The only 2 wards on the map currently are in the lower river. There's the 3rd one being placed by N-Rated. That was the Explorer ward being placed just towards that tri-bush, so they're going to go off and take the golems. They're going to be spawning in just a few seconds. And Yellow Pete looking like he's going to be heading towards the top lane, so it looks like it will be a forceful 2v1. You saw Wicked, he spotted Soaz in the top, and it's EG that have initiated this one. They want the 2v1 lane.
Interesting to see this. I mean, Shen obviously does extremely well in a 1v2 situation, just because you have that ability to taunt under turret if you need. You have the feint, you have the healing off of your Q. We haven't really seen too much action as Zac, so I honestly couldn't really say how well he does in a 1v2 situation, but just looking at his passive and how it works, he should be able to sustain quite well. But we do have an invade coming out of Evil Geniuses towards the top side here. They will be spotted by a ward, and how are Fnatic going to react to this?
Let's see whether they do. Snoopy is going to go for this invade. He's got Crepo and Yellow Pete, with him. There is, of course, 2 yellow members in the teams, Yellow Pete and Yellowstar. So, excuse me if I do get a little bit confused by the commentary.
I guarantee I'm going to mess it up a couple times.
You guarantee. Hail of Arrows comes out from Yellow Pete. We do see Soaz just off the side. He's going to try and steal this one away, but how will he do so? Will he try and lunge for it? We're not even going to get to see it. We do flick away just as the key moment is about to come in.
He did try to go for it, but unfortunately he did miss. And he did level that Q up at level 1, so he will be using that to just farm away. We saw Wicked actually maxing that pretty much all day yesterday, just trying to push the wave, because it gives you that really strong potential, since you can just use it through the entire wave that comes at you. But we do have Sunny picking up his own blue here.
Well, he's not picking up his own blue.
Not picking up his own blue, picking up the enemy blue.
Effectively, it's his own blue. He knew it was going to be clear. We don't have Jaws here just yet. Oh, sorry, Jaws. Sorry, Steve. But as it stands, it is going to be Crepo and Pete in that top lane versus Soaz, and of course, Cyanide is going to be taking away his own red right now, as is I was just about to say Steve, but Snoopy I'll go with. I know these players by name, it's starting to become a problem.
Well, the thing is, if you look at the ward setup we have, because you mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have a pink ward down in the tri-bush for Evil Geniuses at this bottom lane. So you see Cyanide, he's actually trying to go into there right now. Will be spotted, so a perfect ward out of them to really stop that from happening. But as you're noticing, he's just sitting on the side, so it looks like he's expecting this, and he's going to try to come in for a gank when they go for this 330 push.
So, meanwhile, in this bottom lane, N-rated, we did see Leona locking out this bottom lane, but look at this. Both junglers are poised and ready. Wicked, of course, on Shen. May have a better defensive job here because he can taunt someone if he doesn't get completely locked up, and he may be able to put damage down onto the Autumn. Cyanide ready and waiting though, and this is a giant creep wave coming in. The siege minion is there. Snoopy instead, he's taking away the wolves. He's not going to be going for this one just yet, but it looks like Cyanide's going to make his move. They do manage to get the stun down. He tries to shadow dash away, but is he going to get far enough? No, the exhaust goes down. Everything's being burnt. This will be first blood, and it's going to go to Yellowstar.
Ooh, I was going to say that was smart of him to save that flash, but he just wanted to escape at the end right there, so he did commit that flash. It means he can be very susceptible to ganks early on the bot lane, as we do see Evil Geniuses going for their top gank themselves.
Yeah, they're going to do the exact same thing, and Soaz is going to get caught out there. Exhaust goes down once again, and that is another clean kill. They have to take down all bits of Flubber, though, remember. The rest of Evil Geniuses, they're going to come around. Last shot will go to Yellow Pete. Very well done.
Okay, so we see a 1-for-1 trade in the end there, with First Blood going over to Fnatic. And looks like Evil Geniuses will try to at least get this turret very low, but, you know, Fnatic on the bottom side just did such a good job of that gank because they had a huge mini wave coming. They engaged before they started losing that wave, and it forced Wicked to miss out on so much CS now. You even see Cyanide, he's sticking around the bottom lane. He wants to punish Wicked, he wants to get him out of this game, and that's what teams did in Season 2 to really hold Evil Geniuses back.
Well, Wicked's going to come straight round, see Cyanide standing there, just stroll away, just puts the ward down. It's like, yeah, I can still see you there. Leave my ward alone. Instead, he's going to try and come through. The rest of his team, remember, of course, Yellow, Pit Star, and N-Rated, they do have a wave being pushed up here, so Wicked knows he's really being bullied here, but Evil Geniuses are doing just the same, and they have taken that turret down. It's not exactly what Fnatic have done yet, just yet. They were quite happy to keep the wave here just a little bit longer, and that may be a mistake. They've only taken half the damage off that turret. Instead, they went for the kill, and they were trying to suffocate Wicked from this game. But that duo lane in the top of Yellow Pete and Crepo will be moving to this bottom lane in a moment. So effectively, Evil Geniuses have done well to hold out this turret. Can they hold it any longer?
I think we're going to have Yellow Pete and obviously Crepo come down towards this bottom lane. Looks like they actually will try to take the turret right away, so they may even try to go for a lane swap themselves because they shouldn't really do too well against that Varus-Alistar combo.
Oh, will he get it? I thought he was going to get it. One more shot should do it. Yellowstar did get taunted up just briefly there by Wicked, but unfortunately for them, it does mean Fnatic have equaled up. So we're going to see the lanes switching around. I would expect to see Wicked probably moving towards the top. How do they compare to one another?
Well, quickly before we get to that, because we have Dragon, looks like going to be started here. We have all 5 members towards the bottom side of the map. You saw Wicked sticking around long enough right there, and a pink ward coming in from Crep. It looks like they will try to go for a very early Dragon here.
It is an early one, just 6 minutes gone, and there's a 4-man Evil Geniuses here. Cyanide puts his Damascus standard down and realizes we're not really quite capable of taking this one away. Yellowstar had already gone back to base, so that is going to be a very, very quick Dragon coming out from Evil Geniuses. How are they going to rotate? We do see Wicked now. He's going to be heading towards that top lane. He's going to be behind a little bit here on Soaz, but remember that Dragon experience and gold he just picked up will help him.
The thing is, he's only sitting on 800 of gold to spend right now, so he picks up some boots. He doesn't really have the items he needs, as he's just going to stock up on these health pots here. It looks like Soaz will be going for a Warmog as one of his very early items, but, you know, without any sort of health, without, you know, any sort of extra items to help him out in the lane, I think he's going to have a tough time against Soaz.
Well, let's have a look at the mid lane. We haven't had a chance to sort of peek at that one. Froggen versus Peke. It's obviously 2 battle of the high KDA champions. Peke with very much the second highest kills in all of Europe, and Froggen, well, he was the highest KDA as of this week. Whether it's changed or not from yesterday, I do not know, but that's what the stats sort of configured, and as it stands, they're very, very close between one another. 48 to 47, very close in terms of CS. We do see, of course, Peke farming out those wraiths as well, because this jungler is absent and he's in this top lane. He's going to get caught out, but the Damascus standard slides away.
And look at Fnatic's game plan. I mean, Cyanide is in every lane that you see Wicked go to. He wants to gank him over and over. He's already, you know, or Wicked's already down, you know, a good 20 CS at this point, and they just want to keep him out of the game, make it so he can't split push, because we saw this happen against the Wolves. We saw where Zach was stronger than Shen. Oh, we see Froggen going in.
Froggen going in. He's going to a very deep position there. There was 2 wards that spotted Froggen's positioning, and well, Fnatic were getting set up to try and get that one. As it is, I don't think they're going to be able to come and steal it. Looks like it will be given across to Peke eventually, but they're very cautious about it, and Peke takes that blue buff.
Hey, so going back to what I was trying to say earlier is that you want to make it so Wicked can't split push on Shen all day, and with all this pressure they've been putting onto him, he's not going to have that ability to. He won't be able to get that Sunfire cape. He won't be able to build tanky enough to really handle the damage that Soaz can put out against him. So they pretty much eliminated that threat, and it's all in Fnatic's hands to decide where they want to go from here.
So how do we compare the 2 AD carries right now? There's an advantage slightly built up by Yellowstar. He went for the Sheen early on Corki, of course, probably going to go for that Triforce as ASAP, as is the Blade of the Rune King being built up by Yellow Pete. Slight CS difference, but nothing to really write home about just yet.
Well, in a 1v1 situation, I'll have to give it over to Actually, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty even in a 1v1 situation because Corki, he's known for his burst, but so is Vars because you have the percent health damage and you have the Blight stacks to proc. But the whole point of Fnatic, what they're trying to do is, as we see Snoopy trying to come in for a gank on N-rated.
Oh, they both use the flash as well, and Rated does manage to get his ulti down, but is he going to take a lot of damage here? He does get knocked back there. Yellow Pete, one more shot should be enough. Takes him down. Can they get the pull run towards the Yellow Star, or will he be able to turn it around? Yellow Pete taking a lot of damage there. You see Snoopy going down on all fours, trying to get that flip on towards him, but Yellow Pete had to back away from that fight. Throws out the hail of arrows, but they'll be happy with the kill.
Smart play by Snoopy to come in there. I mean, committed that flash. We talked about if he's going to use that Ghoster flash, but showing just how strong the flash really can be in the end. And going back to talking about Corki versus Vars, thing is, to me, Fnatic isn't looking for team fights. I mean, they have the ability to go for it if they want to, but they're going for poke. Because you have Corki building a Triforce, so you want to be able to poke them down as much as possible. You have the AP Nearly's going to be poking as much as possible as well, so they just want to whittle Evil Geniuses down and then go for hard engage with Soaz, who can just jump into the backline with Sonic can do the same thing. So I don't think they're trying to go for a one-on-one in any sort of way. But I think I would have to say it's pretty even between the two.
Well, this is something we've seen before with Fnatic. They've used Peke to split push. Do you think this is going to happen again? The fact that he is on Nidalee is a strong split pushing champion. It's very hard to pin down, and he's just come in, stolen the red away from Snoopy.
Oh, we see Froggen engaging on him.
Froggen does manage to land the charm. Is it going to be enough? The Shadow Dash, no, not going to be able to catch on towards that. Where's Shadow Dash come from? He's on the opposite team.
Well, you know, talking about Xpeke and split pushing, I want to say that it won't happen, but it's Xpeke, so you kind of expect that out of him. But
I see what you did there.
I tried.
Oh, I do see Wicked actually getting a bit of a poke onto Soaz there. Throwing his bits of flubber all over the place, and he's going to be getting a lot of return poke. The spears are landing from Peke, already doing quite a bit of damage. Of course, Ari only got those double Doran's rings. We do see those Soaz in source of trouble at top here. He's going to go aggressive on towards Wicked. He's going to go full dive, gets the kill. The tower hit will come in. Is Snoopy going to have enough? No, because here comes Yellow Star going straight up there. The armor shred on the bear is going to take him down. It's a double kill for Soaz in the top lane. Tragedy strikes.
Such a great play out of Soaz right there. And Demon, I was watching it, and in my head, I was just like, I want to bounce to this because that's just so cool to see the ultimate go. But I mean, you just saw him squash Wicked right there, and that is the power of Zac. He doesn't have any damaged items. He has 2 rejuvenation beads, hasn't built anything, is sitting on 2,500 gold to spend, and yet he was still able to push Wicked out and actually get a kill there. And of course, Yellowstar with the great awareness to come towards that top side and help out.
Well, that was a very good turnaround because obviously Yellow Star was down the bottom. That was clearly all pre-planned by Fnatic, so excellent play right there. And Peke, he's going to be backing off, and he's starting to build up nicely. Things are starting to work very well for Fnatic here. They have that 1,000 gold advantage. Now it's going to stretch itself to just shy of 2,000 as Yellow Star takes down that top turret. Now they have that 2-1 advantage. We'll see whether that AD carry of Yellow Star does move around in towards that mid lane where Froggen's been trying to just farm up as much as he can, and that's kind of what Fnatic have got to do. They've got to just shut down Frog and keep him out of the game. They've already shut down Wicked effectively. You can see he's at 0-2 now. He's at half the CS of Soaz, so they've done a fantastic job there. The next target is going to be Froggen.
You know, looking at, yeah, exactly, like, they already shut Wicked down, and that was their biggest threat. Like, they didn't want to get split pushed on at all because they would have a hard time dealing with them in the end. But Froggen, I mean, if you look at how a fight's going to break out, how is he going to catch anyone with Fnatic when you have the protection of N-rated, you have the protection of Side and Soaz? Like, it's going to be very hard for him to catch a charm on the person he wants to. You expect he has a cleanse, so he can get away if he needs to. And so the only person he can really go for is Yellowstar, who's going to have the Valkyrie to get away. Will be really far ranged anyway, just because he's going to be spamming those missiles at you. To be honest, Froggen is not really going to be doing too much in these fights, and he needs to, I have to say, roam around a little bit here with Snoopy and try to pick up some kills.
Soaz is clearing the waves quite happily and is very safe at the moment. We do see Snoopy lingering around, but he's getting spotted out by those wards, so he's not exactly as sneaky as he thinks, and he may well be walking into a bit of a Fnatic trap here at Dragon.
And we did have even just pick up the first Dragon of the game, as we saw earlier, which gave him a nice little bit of gold, but the game was a lot closer at that point, and we have Fnatic a lot stronger right now.
Well, they do have a 5v4 advantage, but of course that Stand United will be available. It does mean that Fnatic are going to use their numbers advantage and push on towards the turret, try and put some damage down. Dragon, of course, is available, and we see Leona in there. It is N-rated, trying to look at clearing it out. Doesn't have a ping ward, though, or the Oracle, so can't spot out those wards that are down there. There's going to be Cyanide. He uses his ping ward and takes away his Evil Genius's vision.
And Demon, looking at how this game's going to go into the late game point, there's something I want to point out that's a really key point. Is actually DC N-rated engage on his Snoopy.
Everybody engaging and then everybody disengaging in rapid style there. And N-rated's like, I've got someone. No, I don't want this bear. I'm going to get the hell out of there. And then in comes the cow. So as it stands, they really trying to avoid the fight, seeing if they can get a pick in there. You saw the charm land on Peke. That's what took Peke's health down pretty quickly, but they don't have that vision around Dragon. It's dangerous play right now. We see the blue buff going across the Froggen, another pink ward coming out. This time Evil Genius is taking away the vision of Fnatic. There's a real battle for those pink wards right now around the Dragon.
But in the meantime, while this entire thing was happening, we saw Fnatic get a little bit of damage onto the turret, but as you see right there, Wicked, he's been in the top lane, he's been farming up. He's caught up quite a bit in terms of CS, and he's going to be a really strong force of the team if he keeps being able to do this. And I was trying to touch on that Fnatic. They're going to have a tough time in the later game when they're trying to push turrets down because they don't have a lot of range to hit the turrets, and Evil Geniuses have such a great team to engage on if they need to.
Well, Evil Geniuses are going to try and take the Dragon away. The danger is they're going to lose that middle turret. While it happens, Peke is maneuvering down there. The Dragon will get picked up. Can they try and defend off that turret now? They need to rotate around all the way around the blue buff area. And you can see Fnatic, they've got 5 members there. They're just going to shove straight on there. Yellow Star's going to get in there alongside Peke. They should take it down before Evil Geniuses can get in place.
That will take it 3-1 in terms of turrets, which is going to give them a nice chunk of gold. Obviously, a pretty good trade for them, taking that middle turret down and losing the Dragon. But that is a second Dragon in a row for Evil Geniuses, and if they can keep controlling these objectives, you know, keep picking up their own blues, their own reds, farming a little bit of the jungle, they can easily get back in this game, and they could get their desired engage if they have the opportunity.
It's a trade that I just simply disagree with as well, because losing that middle turret, I always find is so vital for these teams, and the fact that they are 3-1 down in turrets, all of those outer turrets now down for Fnatic. Fnatic can just happily sit, farm, and push those lanes up against the Evil Geniuses, and they're going to have to ward out heavily to try and cover their tracks.
To me, it was like a thing of, or it's like the best of both evils right there. As you saw Evil Geniuses, they were out position for Dragon, but then you saw Fnatic pushing mid turret. They're like, oh, well, we're going to lose that either way. There's no way we're going to get back to that turret before it drops down, so why not just take the Dragon anyways?
So, taking any advantage they can get. Froggen in that mid lane has picked up the Abyssal Septum. We can see Soaz actually jumping away. Didn't fancy that fight. Froggen has definitely going to be the highest farm member of Evil Geniuses. 142 CS, highest farm member on the team, in fact, on both teams. I should add. Yellow Star, he's dealing with the split push of Wicked, but you mentioned it earlier on. Wicked, he's been up here in this top lane. He's actually been gaining, catching back up ground on towards Soaz, and you can see they're both at the same level now. Yeah,
and he's sitting at enough money, I believe, to pick up his Sunfire Cape when he does go back, which is going to help him split push even more to make it harder for anyone to really deal with them in the end, or in these fights. But, you know, he even has some level discrepancies coming out in this game so far. We have Cyanide, who's a level ahead of Snoopy at this point. Soaz and Wicked are tied up finally, as Wicked was down about 1 or 2 levels throughout the entirety of the game. And then you even see Xpeke has a 1 level advantage over to Froggen, so they have that. But the thing is, they don't want to engage in fights. They still just want to poke. They want to get someone low before they go for an engage. They can't siege turrets at all with their entire composition.
We do see a tanky Soaz coming out. So a bit of a different build from what we saw Wicked build. We did see him pick up that Sunfire Cape. Looks like he's going to go for that Warmog. So he's had those 2 Rejuve beards in there pretty much from the start. This time he has gone for that heart, I keep calling it the Heart of Gold, the Ruby Gem. He wishes it was the Heart of Gold. Everybody would have it.
You're giving like false hopes to people watching, like, Heart of Gold? It's coming back. You heard Ryan say it, or you heard Demon say it.
Oh my god, Ryan, please. But no, unfortunately, sorry guys. That's not my department. It's down over to Morello, that one. So as it stands, Trinity Force has been completed now for Yellow Star. Play the Rune King also has been picked up by Yellow Pete. So along with that BF sword as well. So they actually both do have a lot of damage, but this jungle part, this is a big difference for me. The fact that there's 4 levels between them, I tell a lie, that's 1. I keep looking at 8 on this screen, and it looks like 11. I was thinking, what the hell? But they're both level 8. So I don't have a point.
Well, I can tell you this though, Demon, is that Evil Geniuses, they went into this game knowing exactly what Fnatic was trying to do with that Nidalee. They wanted to stop his blue buffs. Like you saw them trying to stop Fnatic from picking up any of their own blues. We had them take the first one. Froggen came in to try to take away the second one because they wanted to deny that away from Xpeke. If you keep that blue off of him, he won't be able to siege turrets that well in terms of just throwing spears over and over and trying to catch you. We do have Froggen though taking this bottom turret, trying to even up that a little bit in terms of turrets and gold, as they, you know, they really aren't down that much, about 900 gold, and we're 17 minutes in. And considering, you know, Fnatic has 1 turret more and also 1 kill more. It's not that big of a lead.
Oh, we're going to see Froggen diving on towards Yellow Pete. Yellow Star, sorry, he's not going to go for his own teammate. We're going to have the Stand United come in. It will be enough to save the day. And Wicked does he pick up the assist with that Stand United?
Yes,
I believe he does, yes.
Well, in the meantime, though, you see Fnatic responding. They're trying to siege down this turret. With 2 members of UGC is not there, they should be able to grab it.
They've dived on towards Yellow Pete as well. This time he is going to get caught out. The exhaust goes in. Peke takes him down. Now can they pick up more kills here? Greppa's going to have to use that ultimate to try and stay safe, and it does look like they're going to lose this inner turret. We do see down the bottom, though, also there's going to be Froggen pushing on towards the inner turret in the bottom lane. How that's going to transfer, I do not know. I don't think he's going to quite have enough to take it down. We're going to see Peke going down, though. A great dive coming out from Wicked there. And now we're going to see them all locked up. You can see the Cataclysm come out there. Snoopy does go down. N-rated flashes away with just a little bit of health. And Wicked, he's forced to back away again. It's a 2-for-1 to Fnatic.
And Froggen was able to get that bottom turret down about half health, but we see Wicked still going in.
The Shadow Dash comes in. Cyanide hadn't left him hanging, though. And now Wicked's in trouble. He gets locked up by N-rated. But is there enough damage? You bet your life there is. And Soaz does manage to pick up that kill. Now he's going to try and run away. Soaz tries to track him down. He does manage to get him. Can he turn on anyone else? It doesn't look like it. And well, N-rated does go down after all that. So still a 3-for-2 though to Fnatic.
And they were able to pick up a turret off of that as well, where Froggen wasn't able to in the bottom lane. So in the end, Fnatic coming out ahead in that fight. And you got Soaz with 4 kills, 1 death, 1 assist now. He is just so beefy. You see him pick up another Giant's belt. I mean, we know that exact. He gets bigger with the more health he gets. I wonder how big he's actually going to get in the end of this game.
We're expecting to see a huge flubbery Zac jumping around. Fortunately, there's no Lulu, so we can't have the wild growth just to make it Godzilla style. But Peke is going to be picking up that blue buff. He's pouncing around, and he's going to finish that one off. Has got himself that Rabadon's Death Cap. The tier, of course, is going to be building ever so stronger towards that Seraph's Embrace. And then, of course, we do see Froggen, he's going to be picking up his blue buff of his own. He did just manage to snipe out Yellowstar, and that's kind of what they're going to have to do, but in the team fights. And I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to dodge past that back line with so much control from Fnatic.
Exactly. And the thing is, Leona can lock down Froggen's entire ultimate. Like, if played perfectly, you can stop him from getting anywhere with the ultimate with your entire form of CC. And that's what he's up against. I mean, if he goes into the back line, you have so many things that can then shut you down. He might actually pick up a DFG eventually just to be able to burst someone if he has to. But it's all up to him to pretty much in the fights if they can catch Fnatic.
They're doing exactly the same. Look, they can see Froggen going down towards that bottom lane. They've got the wards there. In fact, it looks like they may try and close off towards the dragon. It has just spawned. And this time, Fnatic are in a much stronger position to take that dragon away. Looks like Evil Geniuses may try and respond just like Fnatic did, take that mid turret, but no, they're coming in towards it.
I don't know if they'll be able to get there quick enough here. We might see a fight actually happen right after this as well, as Evil Genius is still like pretty much near dragon, trying to make something happen here. I mean, Evil Geniuses, like, they can win team fights. That's what they want to make happen. Like, they have to win these fights. And they have the power to do it. Fnatic, they want to disengage every single time. We do see Evil Geniuses trying to push up to this turret here, and they should be able to lock it down.
Yeah, they're going to get in. That's going to be the inner turret taken, sorry, the middle turret taken down for Evil Geniuses, the outer one. And it is 4-3. Very close game so far. Just 2,000 gold still, or effectively 1,600 gold split in the two teams. And that is equating to really the difference being the top laners for Soaz, of course. That's where the gold really is lying for him. Well, we see a minutest advantage across the jungle, just 200 gold. We see 200 gold between the two AD carries as well as the AP. So really the whole difference right now as the support as well, I should mention. N-rated, he's got 1,000 gold over Crepo right now, and Soaz with that 1,000 gold over Wicked.
We saw that happen yesterday though with the Wolves in terms of Crepo versus Deficio, where Deficio would pick up like 2 GP10s and Crepo would pick up nothing. And because of that, Deficio would end up having so much more gold than him, but Crepo was able to turn those into wins though. I mean, with just the amount of wards you put down, the right timing and everything like that. And Fnatic, I keep coming back just because it's all about their comp. Like, Evil Geniuses, they want to go for an engage here. And I'm thinking back when they were in America and how they practiced against the CLG NA team, and they are known for running these kind of poke comps and drag it out kind of compositions. So they have a lot of practice in this, and we'll see if Fnatic can really disengage when they need to.
They have 2 members currently, Evil Geniuses, away from this. You can see Yellowstar, Yellow Pete in that top lane, and, well, Froggen was in that bottom lane. I'm going to mix them up all day. Don't worry.
I'm happy I haven't done it yet. That's what I'm looking at.
I don't know how I managed to do it during, you know, I've cast these guys for that many years, but I still managed to mix them up. But, it was Yellowstar that was down that bottom lane. He was keeping Froggen at bay, and that's kind of really why Fnatic couldn't push through that mid lane, because the fact is they didn't have that AD carry, they didn't have the damage on the turrets.
And that shows you that, you know, even Geniuses, they wanted Wicked to originally split push, but because he got shut down quite well in lane, they're having to send Froggen to do it to keep up the farm, because they're going to need his damage. Like, they're lacking quite a bit on it, because all you really have is Yellow Pete and him to do the real damage with. Well, you see him trying to push up here, which is really the opposite of the way the game's been going, where it's been Fnatic the one that's knocking at the Evil Geniuses' door.
Well, we're going to see Soaz
if they go for it.
Launch himself. Look at this. He's stretched and ready, but he didn't go for it. Instead, he's going to have it on cooldown. Or does it just reset to cooldown, doesn't it? Because he didn't use it. Now he's ready to go. He's launching. Are they going to fall for it, though? He wants to go for this. We know he wants to go for it, but, well, EG, they're not quite falling for it. Now he might go. He sees Froggen just off the side. He's launching ready. No, look at the whole Fnatic. They're all sat ready. He's like, come on, do it. He's like, well, I can't land it.
But that's the power of Zac, though. His engage from such long range is going to be really deadly for Evil Geniuses. It's like a reverse Blitzcrank almost, where if you're in not in the field of vision, you're in that fog of war, you can pull someone and catch the team off guard. He does the same thing with that jump in, with the knockup, and then the Let's Bounce to just train through the damage of all of Evil Geniuses. But they are backing away here, and EG might be able to make a play on the turret.
Yeah, Peke went back. I don't think he was quite visible when he backed off, though, so you don't see Evil Geniuses shoving quite so hard on towards that inner turret. But it isn't when Evil Geniuses sieging on towards it. And now, again, we do see him launching this time. Is it going to be enough, though? Instead, he pulls a lot of difference. The Chain of Corruption lands very well from Yellow Pete there. He's going to lay down a lot of damage. The Pulverize comes out from Crepo, but it's going to be Evil Geniuses having to back out. Although, saying that, Froggen goes aggressive. Soaz maybe going to get caught out here. Goes aggressive, goes deep on towards Yellow Pete. Is it going to be enough? We see Rated diving in as well. Soaz taking incredibly low, but now we see Snoopy. He's going to get dropped down. Evil Genius is dropping like flies, and a fantastic Cataclysm comes out from Cyanide, and Froggen the only man to escape with his life there. It was a 4-for-2 to Fnatic.
That was such a great positioning by Fnatic overall. You saw Yellowstar, he just sat on the side by Raze, just attacking as much as possible. No one was able to get to him. You saw Crepo go in right onto Cyanide and right onto Soaz, or sorry, onto Ready to knock them up, but you have to say how amazing was that EQ combo out of Cyanide, knocking up 3 members of Evil Geniuses, stopping them from doing any damage, and them just picking up the kills off that. A great trade, and we talked about, you know, Fnatic not wanting to go for some team fights, but they showed right there that they can handle it.
They dived in, and well, Soaz simply was the man to take all of the abuse and even escaped with his life as well. He just flubbered his way away from there, because the problem is when you focus on him, you're going to have all those bits of flubber on the floor. When there's a big 5-man team fight happening, that's not really what you're going to focus on.
Yeah, that's very true. And he was able to keep his passive alive too, so we could use it in another team fight happening very shortly. Cyanide trying to take away his blue from Froggen, does in fact get it. And keep in mind, Froggen doesn't have any sort of regen item. He doesn't have any sort of mana item. He has 2 Dorn's rings, which really won't give you that much in the end.
Definitely going to hurt him. Enrated's going to try and get in there, put some wards down. Froggen continues around, though. We do see Yellow Pete farming out that bottom wave, and he's going to simply sit there and see if he can spot someone out, see if there's any potential ganks coming in there. But unfortunately for him, it's Yellowstar he's looking for, and he's just showed himself in that mid lane.
The thing is, he wants to farm out his Infinity Edge right now. He almost has it when he backs. He should be able to pick it up, but that will turn the tides of the fight in terms of damage. He'll be putting out so much more than Fnatic can really handle at this point, just because of its Varus. You do that percent health damage, you have the Blade of the Rune King, and you have obviously the damage off the Infinity Edge to top that off. Dragon is coming up in about 30 seconds though. We do have 2 dragons for Evil Geniuses, 1 to Fnatic. I wouldn't be surprised to see an actual major team fight break out there.
That was some good shoving work from Yellow Pete there. Got himself up to the farm, and there you can say the Infinity Edge is now completed. With that dragon up in 30 seconds, that's almost certainly going to be the next point of target for both teams. There is the ward. That single ward there was giving really Evil Geniuses all of that positional advantage, and they knew Yellow Pete was safe to farm down that bottom there, so it does look like both teams are going to gather themselves up 5-man. See if any of those spears from Peke can land. Of course, that could be a bit of a turning difference at the start of a fight. If the pokes can come in on towards Froggen just like that, it's going to mean Froggen can't really engage in this next fight.
The thing is, we saw Fnatic back into Extreme Masters Katowice against, I believe, a Zubu Blaze, and just how amazing, how every single spear out of him could really land. So Evil Geniuses have to do a really good job of dodging these spears, especially when they're this close to the base. Maybe some home guard boots out of them would be perfect, because then they get back and get right back in the fight ASAP.
We'll see how it works out. Of course, both teams do have that Runic Bulwark built, almost a standard for the junglers these days, especially when it's going to be Jarvan and Volibear. Froggen has returned, topped himself back off the health there. Ooh, Shadow Dash from Wicked. Maybe seeing if Soaz went a little bit too deep. This time you're going to see the creep wave is pushed in there, trying to separate the team, and again the spear lands on the back of Froggen, and that means he's going to have to stand back a little bit more.
And you see that actual, I want to put this out real quick, is that Yellowstar, he picked up a tier. He got the build rod Cutlass, then went for a tier right after, because he knows he's going to be poking quite a bit, needs to get that stacked up. But we actually have an engaged.
Oh, Chain of Corruption whiffs there. Soaz does go a bit deep though, gets flipped in by Snoopy, but there's going to be Yellow Pete that's locked up. You can see the exhaust coming down. They're focusing on him, but they have managed to catch down Soaz. He's had to back away. Stand United comes out from it's going to be Wicked, and they do manage to actually get the double kill turned around there. So it's going to be Leona, which is going to be N-rated, and Soaz on Zac, both taken down. Very, very close engage. They're going to see if they can catch more. Wicked's going to get caught out. It was a great gank from Fnatic. They're just hanging around that bush.
And the thing is, you can't really go for Baron when there's an AP Nidalee in the other team. She could just hit you. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to miss a spear in that Baron pit, and you can just siege them away as much as possible. But we saw Evil Geniuses. They committed basically everything in that fight. You had Crippo flash in, pop the exhaust, try to knock them up, and lock down Yellowstar, who ended up escaping anyways. And that was all with Yellow Pete missing that ulti. I think if the Chain of Corruption hit, they might have been able to pick up a couple more.
So, Dragon is up, and it looks like Cyanide and Peke heading in towards there. But Froggen is also close by. I wonder if he's going to swing by this way before it does get cleared out. He's going to take that wave down. And we do see Yellow Pete also heading this way. Are they going to be able to lock them in there? The Dragon will get taken down in just a second, and they are going to both be able to pounce away.
We'll just hop over that wall right there, which is just a second too late. Overall, I mean, we see a lot of major items being completed. We have the Death Cap. It's been done for actually quite a while for Expected, so we'll say that. We have the Blade of the Rune King being picked up now for Yellowstar, so he has that extra damage. He has the ability to escape. Like, that speed increase you get is so crucial. The game's all about movement speed at this point. You even see a lot of Negatron cloaks coming out of EOG because they know they need this magic resist. And you even have the Runic Bulwark on a Stupid to help out his team, so they can withstand the siege quite a bit more out of Expected, but if you don't pick up some home guard boots, like when you're sitting on your inhibitor turret, then they still will have the ability to push you out.
The one thing that's happening, despite all this sieging happening, the AP and AD carry for Geniuses are keeping up the farm alongside Fnatic's Peke and Yellowstar. The big difference really is, of course, Soaz. Soaz has got himself so tanky right now on Zac. He's definitely going to be a bit of a big difference. And N-Rated has been locking up that team so well when them fights start. And you can see the stats really show that way as well. And Evil Geniuses, they are behind. It's around about 3,500 gold right now. Definitely starting to grow that gap. But we'll see whether it continues. It's 11-9 in kills, 4-3 in turrets, and those spears, they keep on coming in from Peke. Just scared a little bit, has to pounce away from Snoopy, doesn't want to get caught. Of course, he can flash and flip him back into the team.
He's trying to thread the needle and hit Yellow Pete, because if he do that, we see Froggen going on next Peke.
We see Froggen going very deep. Peke's not going to get taken down. He's a slippery little sucker, and he has managed to get away from that one. And Soaz also flashing from the Chain of Corruption there from Yellow Pete. Well, a number of ultimates been used out there from Evil Geniuses, but it have forced Fnatic back. Will they be able to shove down on towards that inner turret, or will they turn and run towards that Baron?
And you saw right there just why Soaz is the European All-Star for the top lane. He flashed in, or excuse me, he hopped in and knocked up Evil Geniuses, allowing Expected to escape. Because if he didn't escape, you could have seen Evil Geniuses go for Baron very easy. But they are trying to stop this blue. If they have a ward down, they might be able to catch Froggen, or at least be able to steal it away.
The spear is almost certainly going to get launched in there. Peke is ready, but instead he sees the spear lancing on towards Snoopy. And now you can see the blue buffs had to be reset there. Froggen doesn't want to get caught out for this one. The rest of Fnatic are going to try and respond. The spears continue to come through. Snoopy dodges out of that one, and those wards, they are slightly dying out. Finally, Snoopy puts that pink ward down, and they do manage to clear it out. So vision away from the blue buff now, but now we see Yellowstar. He's catching a lot of armor shred onto the backside of Wicked there, and now Crepo, he's taken incredibly low. The ultimate comes out. He turns back around. The Shadow Dash, the Stand United is going to come in, but it's not going to be enough. Soaz takes him down, and now Fnatic are going to shove up the mid lane.
And that was Fnatic just capitalizing on Evil Geniuses being around that blue buff. They're going to be able to get this turret. They're going to be able to get inhibitor off of this. But yeah, you got the blue buff for Froggen, but at what cost? Losing an inhibitor turret and one person on your team is not worth it.
Never, ever going to be worth it there, and that's going to be the first inhibitor of the game going down. Fnatic picking that one up, and that's going to stretch their gold lead to 5,000 now. We do see Froggen. He's trying to throw those balls out from the side, but it's not happening. And Soaz just launches himself away, and Fnatic hit and run.
And now with this inhibitor turret down, we're going to have a little bit, or we should, I'm going to say with quotation marks, have a little bit of a slower paced game, because now Fnatic can kind of bait out Evil Geniuses. They can just sit by Baron, take away all the vision, which N-Rated should be picking up an Oracle very soon if he doesn't have one already, and just really force Evil Geniuses to make a move here, because they can just sit there all day and wait for the middle lane to push up, or they can just siege turrets on the top and bottom lane, because once you lose an inhibitor, if you just siege the outer turret like that, someone's going to have to back it. Then you'll have a 5v4, a very advantageous fight, and then they'll be able to win it right off that.
Looks like Evil Genius is going to rush straight down for that bottom lane. You can see Snoopy's around there towards the red buff. He's got Wicked with him as well. Froggen's been shoving that lane in. They realize because Yellowstar is in that top lane, they're going to try and push straight down. They're going to see Soaz go past. You can see the damage coming out. They're going to flip him in there. Shadow Dash comes out, but Froggen's not joining them. There's simply not enough damage now, and he can turn around and actually put a lot of damage back on 2v1 there.
Yeah, you're saying, look at the damage come out. I'm looking at it and it's like, wow, he hasn't really dropped it all, because they can't do anything to him, just like we were saying before. He's just so damn tanky right now. Even has a Warden's Mail and the Negatron Cloak just to get even more beefy. Sitting on 193 armor and 145 magic resist right now. And that's really hard for anyone Evil Geniuses to eat through. However, we do have to point this out. Yellow Pete has a Last Whisper now, so he can put out so much damage. Anyone that comes right into his face, he can just stop.
But I just don't think he's going to get that chance. That chain of corruption is going to be so vital to land there. And it's going to be, you're going to see Soaz jumping in. Peke is going to launch some spears at him. And Yellowstar, well, he can Valkyrie in, which he did do in the last fight, on towards him. And Enrage can lock him up as well.
And the thing is, Fnatic won't do that unless they poke someone down at Evil Geniuses.
Yeah.
So then it's going to be a bad fight for EG either way. And now with this Oracle picked up on a Cyanide, they're going to actually take away all this vision away from Baron. And like I said before, force Evil Geniuses to go for a fight here, or at least force them away.
And then they need to get some wards down there. You see Crepo warding out the bush, as did Snoopy, but they still don't have any vision towards that Baron River area yet. Crepo waiting to try and do that. They do see Cyanide coming in with the pink ward. They may try and go for him here. Oh, that spear comes in, just whiffs past Yellow Pete.
And you know when one of those is going to hit, Fnatic is just going to go straight for him. We're going to be looking at like, ooh, when it lands, because it's going to take away at least half his health. I mean, just look at what Expected has. He has a Void Staff and then the Robodon's Death Cap right there. But you know, Frog, like you were saying before, he's been keeping up in farm. He's actually still quite far ahead of Expected, but I don't know if it's enough. I mean, he was able to finally pick up a Death Cap and a Zhonya, so his damage has been exponentially amplified right now. But will it be enough in a fight? Like, will he be able to dodge a CC that Fnatic can put out, and will he be able to hit the person he needs to and just blow up Yellow Star?
Fewer geniuses need to embrace their inner Englishman. And fortunately, the Englishman is with Fnatic, and they're going to lock up on towards Snoopy there. There's going to be the ultimate coming out, and they've got them completely pinned down, bouncing around Soaz, just destroying the team there. It is going to be Yellowstar picks up the first kill, Snoopy goes down, and Evil Geniuses are doing their best to pick up a kill here. They might be able to take Cyanide down. No, and then he slides back in. Great work from him, managing to disrupt him and really buying time for his team. It's just going to be Froggen trying to run the opposite direction from Fnatic, and it doesn't matter though. It's 3-1. The spear lands, the tower hit comes in, and now it's going to be Yellowstar comes in to clean up. Very well played from Fnatic. It's a 4-for-1 engage around Baron. And
we should see Baron happening right now for Fnatic. They have the tankiness they need. They have the damage if the rest of Fnatic comes over. As actually they're just sitting there. They don't have an Oracle anymore, so obviously Evil Geniuses will have vision of it, but I don't think Wiki can really get there or stop this at all.
Well, I was about to say they need to embrace their innings. Englishman, don't you throw those bloody spears at me. But unfortunately, they did throw the spears and they all landed, as you just saw there. So Evil Genius is really having troubles right now. 2-2-9 for Peke. It's not the greatest score, but you can see the fact that he is picking up those assists, and it's all about Soaz. That Let's Jump, he was bouncing around the entire Evil Genius team, just disrupting them the whole fight.
And the thing is, we look back at when we highlighted the players, we highlighted Expected saying Froggen did such a good job of shutting him down. He wasn't as effective in this game, and we talked about Wicked being shut down by Fnatic. And if you look at 2, 5, and 6, you know they've been camping this entire game. They've done exactly what they needed to keep Evil Geniuses out of this game. And Fnatic, they're looking very strong to take this game. They have Baron buff. They have the middle inhibitor down still for about another minute and a half. And they have 2 turrets they can easily take.
And of course, it is named Let's Jump, but frankly, Let's Bounce sounds better. It's as simple as that. It is going to get renamed. Whatever way, the other way around. It sounds great.
Anything sounds great with your accent, Demon.
It was Let's Bounce. I was right. The goddamn analyst has controlled me. They can't say Let's Jump. Whatever.
We get the idea, though. I mean, that's what we like to see.
Froggen's going to get caught out here. He's in all sorts of trouble. And it's going to be Yellowstar going straight in with that Valkyrie. He's going to get caught, stunned. And will he be able to get away? No, because Cyanide's just going to get one more lunge in there. He's actually going to delay it and let it. Oh, the Sonya's Hourglass used. Peke throws it out. Who picks it up? Soaz! I thought they were leaving it for Yellowstar.
Nah, Soaz wants those kills. And now they're going to go face tank this turret, take it down. So that's another turret down for them. And the gold lead is just increasing even further, almost up to 10,000 at this point. They have 7 kill advantage. They have 6 turrets to 4. And obviously a Baron on their side as well.
You're just going to leave me with that one?
I'm thinking about where to go next, because now they're going to start sieging away. I mean, they already had a great team comp to siege away with. Just as long as they land a spear, they can just engage. But with this Baron buff, they can even afford to take some damage and probably just take that turret down with force.
Well, they're just going to take the base, and I think that's all that's going to work with that Baron buff on. There's not a great deal Evil Genius can do to try and defend this one. They do go towards the top lane, though. They're going to want to take the inner turret. Not finish the game just yet, but you can see that gold advantage. It's 9,000 gold now. And Yellowstar, yes, it does mean it's over 9,000. I'm aware of the quote, but instead, it is going to be Evil Geniuses in all sorts of trouble. And frankly, they can just tank this one out now. Soaz is so tanky right now, he doesn't really care about those turrets. And there's not a great deal that Evil Genius can do. They'd have to focus everything on him, but he's putting down so much damage and disruption that they can't deal with him. And again, the spears always finding the home, and Yellow Pete takes another half his health off.
And the thing is, with that middle inhibitor down, Evil Geniuses, they can't really engage right now since Fnatic has Baron, but if they lose another inhibitor, like, they're gonna have to fight or the game will be over. There's no way you can let 2 inhibitors go down because then Fnatic will be able to take a third on you.
Well, Evil Genius is going to see if they can try and keep this one out. Valkyrie was pulled out from Yellowstar there, so he thought he might get caught out. He's got to avoid those charms. That's really where the only point of initiation's coming from so far for Evil Geniuses. They are going to have a giant creep wave coming in the bottom lane as well. Remember, Fnatic, they have historically, over the last 6 months, won a lot of these engagements, so it's no surprise to see Evil Geniuses being pushed up against it here. And the spears, they keep on finding their targets. Froggen now, half his hit points just shredded off, and the spear almost caught towards Yellow Pete again. They're going to turn the engagement, comes in, N-Rated missing his ultimate, but it doesn't matter. N-Rated does get taken down maybe from this engagement, but have they got the damage? Oh, the Cataclysm catching all of Evil Geniuses once again there. Stand United comes out to Yellow Pete. Can they turn it around? No, they can't, because Yellowstar and Peke are cleaning house of Evil Geniuses. It's going to be another kill. It's a double kill for Peke. It's a double kill for Yellowstar. Who will get the final blow? Soaz.
Of course, Soaz. Now he's 8-11 at this point, but Fnatic with a great engagement. I mean, Evil Geniuses, you have to give him credit there. That fight was very close, but because Fnatic had 10,000 gold over them, because they had Baron buff, they weren't able to finish off the game.
So Evil Geniuses are going to go down, and Fnatic take the first victory in this best-of-3 series. They are, of course, the #1 ranked team in the LCS, so no surprise to see them taking the first game. How will Evil Geniuses be able to respond to this one? Well, it's going to be over to Joe Miller and Trevor Quickshot Henry to tell us exactly how.
Thanks a lot, guys. A brilliant performance there coming out of Fnatic for that first win. In the early stage.